Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video on the channel. Here's another video covering some of the latest news around the Fallout 76 PTS and some of the changes that's meant to be coming in. We've got more changes coming to perks and the way they work and some other bits and bobs surrounding them, which we'll get onto shortly. But first of all, I want to share with you the new kind of legendary attributes that's coming in for 1 stars, 2 stars and 3 stars. Now bear in mind, this is all from the Fallout 76 PTS, so it's all testing, therefore some of it may not make it to the actual live game. It's all kind of how it works out, and people in the PTS can go and test them out and say whether or not they're good, bad, or if they need changing, or if they're broken. Now to start, let's take a look at the new 1-star mods, and a few of them are kind of themed around the ghouls and the kind of ghoul builds that you can now be in the game. Now starting off with the 1-star mods that we have available, the first one is going to be called Feral, and it's aimed towards melee weapons, i.e. it's only going to be unlockable on them ones. The attribute itself has a description saying kills make you more feral, so it's going to kind of speed up that process. We also have snipers, which is obviously focused on ranged weapons. This is going to gain 120% bonus damage to weak points while aiming down the sight. So again, kind of focusing on what they focused on in the last update, but they're really kind of focusing on people using like normal, like aiming down the scopes rather than in VATs, if you get what I mean there. Now one which I am pretty interested by is going to be called Adrenal, and this is going to be available on all weapons, and it gives you a plus 10% damage per kill while on a kill streak up to 100%. Now this is also available on armor, however obviously it's going to give you different bonuses. On the armor it's going to give you plus 10 damage resistance while on a kill streak up to 100. And both of these are very interesting to me, and like in a sense of what we've had in the game, like added in the last few updates, where we've got like the bleed damage and stuff going on, and all these new features that's going on, making perks work in different ways, giving you these bonuses that you can focus on to kind of maximize damage and stuff. I think it's a lot of that, but which I am quite looking forward to. But on another kind of note, I feel like it's getting very confusing keeping up with all of these now in the game. I don't know how you feel, let me know in the comments below. The next one's going to be called Lucid. This is also focused on weapons, and this one is all about increasing your damage up to 40% based on how full your feral sanity meter is. I suppose in a sense you could kind of mix this up with the feral one as well, where you could maybe use a feral weapon where it makes you more feral, and then all of a sudden once you hit that certain kind of optimum point, you switch over to your lucid weapon and your lucid armor, which is the final one at the bottom of the list, to kind of give you all them extra bonuses that you have built up over time. Now moving on to 2-star mods, we've got Pickpocketers. This is for melee kills. This kills give you a 50% chance to award a small amount of caps. I feel like we really need something new when it comes to caps. We need something to kind of drive that, I don't know, just something to actually use caps for. I'm sat at max caps at the minute. I've got nothing to buy, nothing to do with them. I'm just literally sat there like, don't know what to do with myself. Now on to the next one, we've got Painkiller. This one's for armor, and this is gain health regeneration based on your kill streak up to 3 health per second. Again, another thing kind of directing to the kill streak, like kind of reinforcing that idea I had where it's going to be very similar to bleed damage and stuff like that. Now basically the same thing, but for your armor, this one's going to be called Rushing, and then we're going to have Elementalists for your armor, which is plus 5 to all resistances up to 25, which I don't really feel is very worthwhile. I don't know why you'd bother adding that one in, to be honest. Finally on the bottom of the list for this one is Fierce. This is armor only, not power armor, 4 to 5 limb resistance while on a skill streak. I'm going to guess that's meant to say kill streak and it's just a typo, but who knows. Now moving on to the 3-star mods, we've got 5 different ones available. We've got Glowing, which kills grants a small amount of rads. Healthy for your armor, which is max health increases by 20 up to a total of 100. Reflex, which is a 2% evade chance leading up to a maximum of 10%. I'm going to presume that would mean if you, like for all these where it says up to that in a sense of armor, it would be if you've got a matching set on. Active is also there, which is max AP is increased by 20 up to 100. Barbarian is the final one for melee, which is plus 1 strength per kill while on a kill streak. I think there's a couple of mods hiding in there which are kind of interesting, which I would be kind of tempted to test out, like Adrenal for example, but there's some of them in there which I just don't really see anyone really using, like Elementalists personally. I just don't see it happening. Like for the sake of 25 resistances all round, Are you really going to be that bothered? I don't really think so, but who knows. Alright, now moving on to Perk. Some of these are just some bug fixes, some of them are some changes, and some of them are a bit of this and that. We'll just find out as we go along. Now the first one on the list is going to be Bullet Shield, and this one's been removed down to only 3 stars rather than 4, taking away the 4th effect at the end. Four-leaf Clover is one of the ones that's received a bug fix. This says it now grants the correct amount of critical meter for the multiple projectile weapons. Presuming there must have been a bug there, but I didn't know about it. Now Fast Fighter is one of the ones that completely changed name and just confused the world, and I think it might have been Ground Pounder beforehand, but I don't know anymore off the top of my head, but never mind. Anyways, it's now called Fast Fighter, so it doesn't matter what it was once called. Now the description on this one has changed completely, and it now says that it now grants 50% of your movement speed as reload speed. Now previously what it did was it granted 30% of your total movement speed, but now it's jumped all the way up to 50%. Some interesting changes around Life Giver now. They fix an issue where players could die just by unequipping it. I've heard people die from a lot of stupid things, like eating bloody a random bit of mut fruit or something, or moot fruit, whatever you want to pronounce it as, and basically die from that. Yeah, this is dying from literally unequipping a perk, which is just ridiculous. It also says fix an issue where the player's health would be incorrect and overlapping the RAD's portion of the health bar when the perk was equipped. So just some more bug fixes on this one. Night Eyes, I'm probably going to be quite certain in saying this by saying not many people probably use this one. However, this one has been dropped down to only costing 1 point now. Number Cruncher, another one that changed its name, now applies to the weapon's damage over time effects. I think previously before this it was actually kind of taking the calculation from the actual weapon's damage itself, but now it's changed over to the damage over time. Deal Sealer, another perk that did change its name. This one now says that Cryo Slow now counts as an impairment for this perk, giving you that extra 10% damage, and then the Poison Aura effect now correctly inflicts poison impairment as well, therefore giving you that kind of damage that we've probably been missing in the latest update. Rad Sponge has also had a couple of changes where they fixed an issue where thirst and hunger restored at different rates, and also they've increased the speed in which it was actually restored. I think I made a short or a video on this ages ago where I tested it out, and honestly it was actually ridiculous how slow the hunger and thirst rate improved, so hopefully it's a little bit better now. Good with Salt has moved from luck into intelligence, and so has Curator. There's been a bug fix on Tightly Wound where it says fix an issue where the animation speed would reset after entering or exiting power armor. And finally the last one is for Bloody Mess, where it's another bug fix saying fix an issue that would allow this to proc on bleed immune targets. I'm not actually sure what proc means, but yeah. Anyways, that is all of the changes for perks and the new legendary attributes or mods, whatever you want to call them, coming into the game. Let me know what you think about all these down in the comments. Personally, for me, to be completely truthfully honest, I'm so out of the loop with perks now. Like, I try and keep up to date with it. Obviously, I share with you guys all the changes and stuff, but there's been that many perks, it's going to take me a while to actually get used to it and kind of, I don't know, like, for me now, if I was to set up an entire build, it would take me forever to try and remember what perks are and what the new names are and all that type of stuff. Like, it's an absolute, I don't know, it's like playing a brand new game in terms of the perks and stuff, which I guess is what Bethesda wanted. They wanted to mix it all up and refresh the system, so to speak. So yeah, I'm guessing they've kind of done what they intended with that, but let me know what you thought or think about that down in the comments below. And for now guys, that's it for this video, so thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.